Why do you keep attracting the same person over and over again, just in a different body? Like, they start out strong, they're interested, they're consistent, attentive, attracted to you, you're so attracted to them, and then slowly or abruptly, something just shifts. They pull back, get distant, become hot and cold to where you're left feeling like, where do I stand with this person? And you're left sitting there by yourself like, oh, shizness, did I do something? Like, am I crazy? In this video, I want to show you, based on psychology and how your nervous system works and why this pattern keeps happening. And more importantly, how to actually break it. We are going to snip it. Like, imagine a pair of scissors going snip, snip. But first and foremost, hi, my name is Leanne, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel, Rise and Elevate, where I just talk about universal principles and share real live examples how I've been able to utilize them to create a beautiful, amazing life for myself. So I want you to know now that this pattern of what's been happening, it's not random. And it's not bad luck. It's simply a pattern. And trust me, I know how frustrating this feels. I literally spent all my life up until last year on this cycle. And you need to understand that you're not crazy. I get it. You just want consistency. You want effort. Someone that is going to show up the same way they did in the beginning. And instead you get like these almost. This is something that I learned, and this is the shift. This is the key. You're not attracting what you want. You're attracting what your nervous system is familiar with. See, our nervous system is a pattern recognition system. So it's constantly scanning to see what feels known, what feels familiar, and that's not always necessarily what you consciously want or what's healthy for you. So if your body growing up is used to and familiar with unpredictability, inconsistency, emotional highs and lows, that's what will feel chemically familiar to you. And this is the part a lot of people don't realize. That inconsistency, those highs and lows, they can feel like attraction. I know. You can mistake it for something that excites you and it attracts you. I've been there. I look back now and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, oh my God, like that was not attraction at all. It's actually activation. Stay with me because this is gonna make sense and you're gonna be like, oh. See, when someone's hot and cold, they trigger your nervous system. You get like a little attention, then it's taken away. And your brain like starts to chase it, almost like a drug. It's just trying to get back to that initial feeling that it first got. And that, my friend, is not love. It's a cycle. It's a hell of a cycle. I mean, think of it like a slot machine. You're sitting at the slot machine. You don't win every time. But every once in a while, you do. And that one little win keeps you pulling that lever. And that's exactly what inconsistency does. You get a little attention, a little validation, a moment where it feels like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And then it disappears. And now your brain, your body, it's not in love. It's just trying to win again. And that's not attraction. It's like a reward cycle. So in reality, you're not attached to them. It's not them you're attracted to. You're just reacting to a pattern. And if you're honest with yourself, you've probably felt this before, right? Think about this. You do start the overthinking. You're checking your phone, trying to figure them out, like you got this. You're scanning them on social media. That's not calm. That's your nervous system trying to resolve uncertainty. How do we make this shift? How do we snip this? You don't chase consistency. You become someone who is no longer available for inconsistency. And you're like, how do I do that, man? Recognize the feeling. If it feels anxious, confusing, or unstable, you need to go, that's not attractive. That's just activation. Slow it down. Inconsistent people thrive in fast emotional environments. So when you slow down, we're able to see more clearly and we make better decisions. Regulate. Always regulate before you react. When they pull away and they back off, instead of like trying to chase after them to fix it, just pause. Bring your nervous system back to calm. You're regulating. You're not reacting. Choose based on peace, always, not intensity. Healthy love doesn't feel like a roller coaster. It feels safe, steady, and predictable. And that's what you need to get comfortable and familiar with. And our nervous systems love repetition. So you got to take this identity shift on of the version of you who attracts consistent love. You don't sit there and try to figure someone out. You observe, you feel, and then you choose accordingly. So, and if you've ever met someone who was consistent, but you didn't feel that same spark back, I've made a video on that explaining that I will link after this video, or I'll put it in the description box, because that's very common too. And again, we're always going to gravitate towards and be pulled towards what our nervous system feels familiar with. Because we don't get what we want. We get what feels familiar. We get what we are, and what we are is some deep-rooted nervous system. So if you want a different love, you have to become familiar with something different. I always try to ask myself, I used to ask myself before in the past, whenever I would get into like new relationships, and I knew I'm not that great at them. I've had a lot of growth, but I would always say, I don't know, I'm a single mom, and my daughter, she's 14 now, but I always ask, if I could step out of this situation, out of this whole little thing that's going on, this relationship and dynamic, what would I advise my daughter to do? And I love her unconditionally, right? And that's how you need to love yourself. And if you don't have a child, think of a dog or a niece or a nephew, something that you just love unconditionally. And how would you advise this person or thing to go about this scenario or situation? Obviously, you don't want them to struggle. You don't want them to be confused and dealing with inconsistency. Nobody deserves that. We all deserve to be loved. But if our nervous system isn't familiar with that, it will choose what it's familiar with. I know for myself, I've shared my story before. I took a look at what was going on. I was like, why is all of this showing up? And if this reality is nothing but a mirror, as within, so without, what is it within me and my nervous system that I'm not comfortable and familiar with? And I was like, okay, this is what it is. When I was a little girl, I was not familiar with having a man in my life at all, let alone consistency. You know, love was inconsistent. You know, I was raised by a single mom, and it wasn't always the best, most healthiest dynamic, I'll put it that way. I saw supposedly this healthy family dynamic, on TV. So I didn't feel that. And I had to go back in and heal that little girl and tell that little girl, I love you and it's okay. That happens. But your past is not going to be your future. And I loved her. And I kept feeding into her, like I became aware of it, and I kept feeding into her that she was worthy of having a man in her life that was going to be consistent and love her every which way and show up every damn day for her. And when I did that, it took a little time. And when I did that was when this mirror, this reality that we live in, reflected it back. So you have to work on yourself. You have to love yourself, because whatever's showing up is a core belief inside of you of what you believe you deserve, or what's familiar to you. It's not easy for me to even tell you that, and it wasn't easy for me to tell myself that, to be honest. I was like, oh, what? And be honest with yourself, because you're only lying and hurting yourself come the end of the day, come the end of the week, the end of the month, and another letdown, another disappointment. So you don't need to broadcast it to everybody, but just sit with yourself and take a look. Take that reality inventory, because your reality is nothing but an inventory of what's going on in here. And you need to heal. You need to love yourself and romance yourself. Treat yourself just as you would want your future partner to treat you. And talk in present tense as if it's already done, and just be grateful for it. I'm telling you, once you make this internal healing and peace and love within yourself, that reality will reflect back. And if it doesn't, you need to go back, because everything is just coming from a core belief. So if this video resonated with you or helped you in any way, I hope you hit that like button and subscribe, because it means the world to me and my channel. And if you are deciding to make this identity shift, I want you to comment below snip. And that is just your little sign to the universe that you're snipping this old pattern and disruptive, hellish cycle. And you're on to the new things and the better things, because you deserve it. Everyone deserves it. So pull back, do that reality inventory, and love yourself, and snip that pattern. So, all right. Until the next video, much peace and love.